Welcome. This is becoming this community chat is becoming really an online support group, which is great. So we got James here. I'm gonna bring him on. There's James.
Thank
Hey,
you,
James.
me, Mike.
Yes, thank you, me, Mike. It's very much. I see that Judy may be planning to get in here, and Joy Mary is a serial member. In fact, I just got. I just saw an email from her about the messages that were taken from the sessions that Yvonne did with Barbara and I guess Christina. I'm kind of getting them mixed up about stuff that's coming. Well, this came through the actual hypnosis sessions. Judy is actually coming out here, and so is Ann Carter, to go see Yvonne and have a session themselves. And they're also going to come to our studio, and we're going to put them on camera, not live, but make it one of our shows. And I'll be reenacting the things that all. And also, if we get a chance, we're going to go to when Yvonne does their regressions. We're going to try to get those on film as well. And then I'll do my magic with what they're recalling. I've been working on the park right now, and I've just about finished it. It's a short piece about the park, and I think I've talked to you before about the park. That's just what I call it.
Okay.
So, and there's no grays in it. I'm sorry. Because evidently there's a lot more going on than grays. So James, say hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. Are you on a computer this time?
No, I'm just on my cell phone. I just thought I'd turn it sideways.
Oh, wow. It looks great. And you got some of your art behind you?
Yeah, I got one of my cool alien gray of colors behind me.
Right.
Yeah.
And those
that is so cool.
Those are all little grays. I mean, millions and zillions of them in that piece.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. There's
Rachel, how are you?
millions and zillions of all of these different little guys in here.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Well, what's cool is that Steve, you're doing the same thing. I'm just yours is like got that amazing realistic feel to it, which I love so much.
Well, you know, there's more to art than realism or whatever you call it. But I love your art, and I love all forms of art.
An incredible self-expression.
Yeah,
I love your pieces.
Yeah. And in fact, you're kind of inspiring me because the stuff I'm starting to do now is more based on my feelings about this experience than, you know, well, I was under hypnosis or I was wide awake and I saw something come through the room. And so I capture that moment on like a photograph, but a painting. But you're expressing your feelings about it and your journey through it in sort of this mosaic, which is really a neat thing to do. It's very, very much a style that I love, and I think it's very beautiful. So I wish that more of people that are having these experiences could express it in art, because you know I don't think we can have enough art on the subject matter. So who do we got there?
Judy.
That's Judy. Hi, Judy. Do you have audio?
Okay, I don't know. Oh, there you are.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Let me see. What's that?
On the
Can you
computer
hear me?
video, it's okay.
I can hear you and I can see you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So you can hear us, Joy. Joy's a Cero member. And as many of you know, I've been a member of Cero since 1993. I think when Yvonne started. I go back that far. And we've gotten old together doing this stuff, and here we are
dear.
still doing it. So Judy, I can't remember. Do you do any art yourself? Have you drawn any of the things that you've experienced, or
I don't know
no?
what to do.
Pardon?
Oh,
Oh, she
she's
fell out. She'll fix
yeah.
it.
We have a number of people who are supporting members of uh, Breaking the Silence, and they're all welcome to come in here and
Let me see if I
participate.
can find mine.
And we're lucky if we get 4 people. Um, Understandably, people are very shy about sharing their experience because this is live and it can be seen by anyone. So a lot of people care to be anonymous. In fact, geez, I'd swear about 90% of the emails we get and the stories we get turned into secret stories that Mary reads and does some visuals too as a podcast, as a visual podcast, um, which speaks a lot about the people who are sending in these stories because the skeptics always claim that they're just trying to get attention. They're trying to be special. They're trying to sell books. They're trying to get a movie deal. 90% plus don't even want their names used. So what do they have to gain? For them, what do they have to gain? They get their story off their chest. They get to share it. They get to do it in anonymity. That was hard to say. So that they're, they don't have problems with their family, their loved ones, and possibly their work. Since we're not there yet.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Hmm.
We can hear you
Fine.
fine. You know your way around a
Could you
computer.
sign language?
I'm looking.
We hear you fine. Hey, Granarly.
Gnarly. It's gnarly. I've been wanting to tell you that a long time.
But it's got a G in front of it.
Yeah, the G is silent like Cacciapaglia.
Oh, okay. Gnarly. All right. I remember that expression. It's still being used today.
Yep.
So, James, what do you got to share with us?
Gosh, just as far as the latest UFO news for me, I went to a recent MUFON meeting down in Los Angeles, LA's MUFON, basically, and saw a really interesting guy, Michael Stratton, and he was super interesting. He had a book called Dark Files and lots of really cool art about all of the UFO retrieval crashes, which I thought was really cool, by this guy named Ray. I don't know what his last name is. I don't remember his last name being said, and the amazing presentation that he gave that was like 2.5 hours of 50 different crashes, and whether or not all of them are true, they had the art for it, and it was really cool. So yeah, I talked to Michael personally and tried to get to know him a little bit. He's a real nuts and bolts kind of UFO guy, which I think is amazing. And he doesn't dabble in abduction stuff whatsoever. He's just a total aerospace history guy. And I just have like a lot of respect for the amount of work that he put into that presentation because all of the art was great. And Steve, you and Mary would have been there if it wasn't 114 degrees out.
It was
It sure
114.
was hot.
I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have come back. I've been a melted puddle.
Let alone our car.
I
Yeah.
was down. It was like 109, and then I got there, and somebody told me it was 114, and but everyone, the whole room was almost packed just to see his presentation.
I saw the pictures.
And yeah, just a nice.
Yeah, I got the picture of his business card, so I'll be sure emailing him.
Yeah, really interesting stuff. Talking about Stringer, Leonard Stringer, particularly the UFO leader, and I know a lot about Hynek, but I've never heard of Stringer. And just really fascinating to hear all the boots on the ground kind of cases, and with David Grush talking about all of that stuff in Congress. It's really fascinating to see Michael's presentation and almost think for a second, you know, could some of these things look like what Grush is talking about? And then when Grush is talking about where these things are being held, and Michael is talking about, you know, the information being dispersed amongst different locations, it's just really, really fascinating. And all of the military history, all the way down to the type of buses they were moving the scientists around to retrieval crash sites with blacked out windows.
Yeah, they do that.
So
Planes and the buses.
I'm still buzzing for that experience. Really, I thought that was really cool.
Cool. One of the subjects that keeps coming up here, if you look right there, is this has been coming up a lot. Before we go into that, I wanted to tell you all something that we were talking to Mario Woods. Mario's on the phone with Mario. It was yesterday. Yeah. And of course, what our Congress wants to do is bring out all these other whistleblowers, including him and other people.
So let me tell you what he said. Let me tell you what he told me. So I'm sitting on the floor in the yoga room, and I'm talking to Mario, and they want to bring him to Congress and have him testify, but they want him to do it all on his own dime, pay his way, pay his own ways, pay for his own lodging. He's got a full-time job and a wife that had a stroke a couple years ago, and these guys, they just want to take advantage of these whistleblowers, and I think it's just terrible.
Yeah, I don't trust this disclosure method that they're doing through the Congress and going to Washington at all. In fact, if I was asked to be part of it, I would turn it down. Absolutely turn it down. I wouldn't even have a glitch of a thought about it, because that's not the way it's going to happen. They can try all they want. They're not going to succeed. That's up to us to bring this forward. And that's what I know. I mean, this isn't me talking.
Well,
it's just what I know.
We are the disclosure.
Yeah. It's always supposed to have been that way. And I mean, I would go right back to 94. I saw the Vicki Lawrence show, and I talked privately with Jacques Vallée, and he made it very clear that this experience is for us. It's not for them. That's exactly how when he meant them, he meant the 1%, whatever you want to call them, the military and all the people with money and power. And they think that they're much more attractive to an intelligence from somewhere else than us little feeble beings. Nobody's are. And it's exactly the opposite. He made that very clear. And you'll notice that in the movie Close Encounters, it's made very clear there as well. And where do you think Spielberg got it from? So that's why I'm very anti-disclosure doing that method. I understand the people that are involved in it believe they're doing the right thing, and I support that, and I understand that, but it's not going to succeed. So they need to listen to us, and we're the ones that are laughed at. The nuts and bolt people, wow, those guys are fringe, you can't listen to them. What do they know? We know plenty. We've been inside those darn things, flying around out there. So here we are, working forward. So what about the dreams of lots of ships in the sky? I had them a while ago. I haven't had them recently. Although the other night, remember, Mary, I told you I dreamed about there were like 4 or 5 craft in the sky, and they weren't accurate either. Someone said they weren't accurate. These were oddly shaped. Anything like that, James, for you?
My dream that I had in 2018, where I tried to tell my dad a science fiction story, and it sort of went very apocalyptic.
Oh yeah,
kind of has always haunted me. Something that was so real. It was just like, it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like more of like being transported, and just even thinking about the dream, I can see it, and it just seemed like whatever started the dream, there was such a huge disaster that happened before. There's probably a whole story in that, and just everything being black and the ocean being brown and people surfing in space, kind of longboarding in Malibu and Los Angeles, and that ocean become so radioactive that you had to go in with the spacesuit now and a little survival pack on your back. They had little backpacks, and it's just such a vivid dream. I woke up and like retold it into a recorder, and I kind of hope that doesn't happen, and but for me, as far as like ever feeling like I had a dream that was really end of the world, that was it. That whole kind of experience, and then kind of AI, military technology, sort of replicating itself, being kind of the end of the dream, and how wild it is, how it sent itself out to all these different galaxies to find more Earths, and which makes no sense. I never understood why it would want to go find more Earths to repair Earth after it had been damaged. It was always like such a strange part of the dream that I disagreed with while having the dream. Kind of like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But that's just the only thing I really have like directly related to that question.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, early on with Yvonne, and I was working with her, but I didn't really need hypnosis for it. But I had dreams where literally there were.
I'll be right back.
Living beings that looked like corpses in the streets. Very, very desecrated city. One had a little child in its arms, and I did some artwork of that. But it's hard to know what's going on there. For sure. I mean, if it's just us dreaming these things, or are they in there trying to show you what could happen, how bad it could be? It's difficult to know for sure. But lately, I haven't been getting any of that stuff. I haven't been getting dreams about the tsunamis either, the ones that are hundreds of feet tall, and all that stuff. It just seems to have died down. I get the really strong feeling that none of those things are going to happen. That we do have time to turn things around. But again, and Judy will, Joy will know this term. There's an urgency to work very quickly and to try to get our civilization to move up to higher vibration, a higher frequency, just higher consciousness, where they stop hating and fighting and killing each other and destroying the planet, and stop, because they think that when they die, that's it, that's the end of the line, and it's not the case at all. What about the solar flares? Well, I hear a lot about that, Audrey, and I hear that I've been told things, I've heard things from other alleged, not alleged, from other abductees, or call themselves abductees, that yeah, that's going to happen. And in fact, some of the beings have left and gone. They're not here anymore because they're worried about those flares and the problems that they cause that can be very life-threatening to them. But I don't find that to be true at all. I've seen plenty of craft flying in the skies lately. So James, so is Mary. I don't find that to be true at all. I've seen plenty of craft flying in the skies lately. So James, so is Mary. Oh, there's. I don't find that to be true at all. I've seen plenty. That's you, Judy. There's those guys lately. So James, so is Mary. Oh, there's. I don't find that to be true at all. I've seen plenty. That's you, Judy. There's those guys lately. So James, so is Mary.
That's me.
Yeah.
It was on my phone. Sorry.
That's happened.
Oh yeah, that's what happens with the phone.
Yeah.
I'm trouble.
We can hear you clearly.
Well, good to see you.
I can't hear you.
That's because I muted my mic.
Oh no. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Hello, hello?
Let me see if I can
turn
help.
the phone off. Otherwise, you'd hear yourself echoing. So we had that problem once with a guest.
Okay, you can use the phone if you shut off the computer sound. Okay.
Just text her. Oh,
Where's my mic?
I'm looking at
We can hear you.
to keep ourselves healthy. Yes, well, that's true, Joy. I was just to the doctor today, and they're very pleased that I've chosen a vegan lifestyle because it's definitely showing in the results of my blood tests
Okay.
and all that. But
Okay.
I will not eat meat and dairy anymore. I don't need to. The reports of your side continue. Yes, they do. And Mary and I are out there fairly often with the night vision camera and our computers looking for stuff, and we're seeing stuff. Mary and I are out there.
I can hear on the phone.
With the night vision camera.
You have to shut off the computer sound.
I can hear on the phone.
With the night vision camera.
You have to shut off the computer sound.
I did.
Are you talking through your phone? Oh dear. I can hear you.
I don't know what to do.
Where is the camera to turn on? I'm not sure, Joy, if you're on a
Where
computer.
is the
So you can't see us. Everyone's having technical problems
I don't see
time
it.
around, so
It's okay. It happens.
yeah, no, it does.
She's
And
trying so hard. She's gonna figure it out.
And I'm getting this really weird tone, and it's not coming from my mic, because if I suddenly mute my mic, I'm not getting it. It's.
But I can hear you.
Can you hear that ringing?
No, it's on your computer.
No, it's not on the computer. I take my headphones off. No, it's in the headphones, and I noticed it before anybody came on. It's just this weird sound. I hate to say it.
One thing after
Sounds
another.
alien.
Must be aliens.
That's it. But I don't have his hair, so.
Anyway, I'm gonna share my latest art, because I downloaded my picture. So let me find it. Oh, it says I have on my computer. You PowerPoint. Oh, upload file. And then find it. I just put it on my. Okay, where is it? Here it is.
The hell was that? Jesus, is a very strange day.
That was never mind. I'll have to do it another time.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing seems to be
Nothing's
going
working.
Nothing's working.
It wouldn't upload it.
I would mine is unfinished, and I don't even think I have anything here, but no, I don't.
Okay, what did Judy
I
have
thought
to
I
say?
did take a picture of it.
Oh, she's so
because I didn't.
confused. So am I.
Huh. That's weird. I know I took pictures of
Okay.
my new painting
Let
that
me
isn't
try
finished
one
yet,
more
but
time.
it didn't show up.
At least we see your pretty face.
I blame Jerry the Gray. Yeah, Jerry. I remember
Take
that.
me out.
I can hear you.
I just love it. Gray calls himself.
Why?
Now it's saying my camera unplugged.
Well, plug it back
My
in.
camera did not unplug.
I hear nothing.
Well, I
And
can
I'm
hear you
gone.
perfectly.
Can you hear
Do you
me
want to
okay?
say something? I can hear you too.
Okay, well, StreamYard just disconnected my camera. It's saying I did, but I didn't do it. The camera's connected.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's been doing this.
Let me see if I can
get it back up here again.
edit mic settings. No. I can't edit anything for you.
You see, it won't access even the, there's the webcam, there's the USB device. It won't grab any of them. So if I go out of here.
No kidding, Joy. Yeah, it's laughing at us really bad. Badly.
Well, you know what the universe.
I make a ET picture, and of course I can't get it up. So
there's a joke in there.
There's a joke in there someplace.
This is crazy. I mean, I have the mic, but not the camera. I mean,
there he is.
Back. I didn't do that.
Well, what day is today? It's Friday. What?
Well, it's a very lucky day.
What's the date?
Friday the 13th is
So it's our
unlucky for
lucky
people who
day.
aren't connected with nature and the universe, not us. So,
No, it's our lucky day.
oh boy, this is a really different community chat this time.
Well, I'm really glad you all are joining us at least. I hope you're
Yeah,
finding the
it's
humor in
amazing.
it.
You know, it is. Yeah. Well, I'm about to, if I find time this weekend. Tomorrow, I'm going flying.
Oh,
Dogs are always a great thing.
Yeah, this will soothe everybody.
So, but Sunday, I'm hoping to write some what I know. I've been getting messages too.
I didn't see that, Groucho.
Joy, I've been also getting messages, and they're very similar. I found it interesting that that the beings that are talking to Yvonne through her under hypnosis are saying that they don't deal with the grays. The grays are lower frequency. They want nothing to do with them, and that they're beings that have no human skeleton, and they're tall and very thin, and they have big heads, and that's about all that was described. But they talked a lot about what's coming, and what's interesting is how much it coincides with or synchronizes with what Whitley's been telling me privately about the visitors and about what they said, and that was that when the Earth got to a point where it looked like it was a point of no return with the environment and other issues, that's when they would intervene. And to quote him, he said, it won't be pretty. And then you have her saying under hypnosis to Yvonne that they will do their best to protect us, and that it's going to be rough for people who aren't with us, which is kind of, I don't know how to take that, you know.
And I've heard that many people have told me that.
Well, I've got that too, that, you know, we'll protect you, and the people that aren't going to move up to that higher frequency, you wouldn't want to be them. I don't know what to believe. I don't, but I've heard it from many, many people. So, has anyone noticed that all types of animals have higher vibrations? I think this is for us to see ourselves in them. Oh yeah, they do. Well, it's like I was saying to Mary the other day, right? Mary said, I pointed at Nova. We were just, you know, reflecting on things that are current in the news. I won't go into details. And I said, you know what? Look at that. And I pointed at Nova, and she's standing by the dog door to go out, and she's got her ball in her mouth, and she's looking at us with this dear little face, wagging her tail. There is nothing wrong in the world for that dog. That dog is at a higher frequency. It's all about joy and having fun and love and play.
She's the only
that's everything
dog
that this race of humans seems to deliberately want to lose. Well, you grow up, you got to grow up, got to act like a man, got to act like a woman, you got to stop playing with child things. When you detach yourself from
the other thing about Nova
child, you're done.
She'll look you directly in the eyes. I've never had a dog that'll look, it's usually bad canine manners to look someone in the eyes, and this dog looks you right in the eyes.
Right now she's on her side on the floor having a nice snooze next to the owl.
I think so, Rachel.
Can we see Nova down there? She's right next to the owl, but she's so black you can't see her.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see her.
She's there. You have to be full screen.
Well,
but yes, we could learn a lot from the animals, and you know, sure, they can't build rocket ships and go to the moon and all that kind of stuff, but they are definitely of the higher frequency of love and joy and play, and we should be the same, even more so. And we're that way when we're children, but then we grow up and we're told to let go of our inner child, when we should embrace it. So I know I do. I love toys. I love playing. So
really?
yeah.
I'm looking in back of you.
What? Oh, yeah. I like to make things. Yeah. So,
and is that what is in back of you, James? Is that on not where the picture is? What's on the other side?
Oh, it's just a hat rack.
Oh,
it's a hat rack. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nothing's
back. It's what, Donna? What's saying that you're not a member? We wouldn't let you in. You mean for this?
What?
Mary, you need to explain to people
okay.
how you get involved in this. Yeah.
Okay. When you go to the site, if you want to become a member, you want to join, and then you can become a member of the YouTube membership. Or if you want to leave YouTube and join Patreon, you can go to our Patreon site and become a member over there. And we have 3 levels. We have CE1, CE2, and CE3.
And we can get up to 10 people in here, no more. And if it gets bigger than that one day, we're going to have to go to Zoom, I guess. Because this is our StreamYard account. It's a paid account, and it costs us money to have this account. But then again, it has, for doing podcast live streams, it has great advantage over the free ones, and that's why we use it. So better image quality, better sound quality, lots of extras that you don't get. And even with Zoom, really, to get those extras, you have to pay.
Okay, it's Donna. It says that you're a member.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're a CE1 member. Let me go check.
So Joy knows, because she just read what Yvonne sent out this morning. That whole bit about the human race feeling anxiety, thinking it's anxiety when it's in fact not, that they're sensing a change, a shift in the vibration of our world, and they don't know what it is, so they immediately go to it's anxiety, and they don't want us to feel that way. That was interesting. I'm not really feeling it. I have anxiety right before I'm going to fly an airplane, and but
Yep,
this
CE1
airborne, I'm fine. But it's the takeoff. But this is different. So we'll talk to him.
There we go. Donnie, you're a CE1. I'm so used to doing the typing instead of being on screen. Sorry.
So what I'm going to be doing more and more and more in the forum, I don't know, Joy, if you know about the forum, but we have a forum. There's a section for Suro in the forum that so far only Jim Lowe has used. And I think there's a couple of Suro members in there, but it's an actual forum, so it's much better than Facebook for categorizing threads and keeping them consistent, where you can go back to it over and over again and post more stuff, and be able to go back and find it without scrolling down 1,000 pages trying to find it. So that forum is very, very helpful for people to be anonymous there if they want to, but still be able to share their experience, talk about it, write about it, put artwork up or photographs or video. And people have been doing that. We have 82 members now, which is amazing. I mean, really, for this subject matter, and for most of those people who have this experience are in there. That's a very good sized support group. Will Steve talk more about the symbols he was seeing? You know what? When I talked to Whitley about the symbols, he couldn't make heads or tails out of them. He just hoped that they would sink in. And I kind of feel the same way, because I couldn't either. I remember seeing a skull on its side, and it was just a graphic. It wasn't like a real skull. And I saw lots of just like X's and squiggly lines and dots and at one point I woke up and you know, I closed my eyes after I woke up and I was like inside of a box. It's the best way I could describe it. On my back, looking up, and I could see the four walls and the ceiling, and dripping down them, running down them, were all these symbols, similar to what Joe Stillwell saw. But I was inside of a box, and it was illuminated in a soft purple with a black sort of background, and all these symbols. And there were way too many of them for me to get a good look at. And I remember opening my eyes up and saying, "Am I really seeing this?" And I closed them again. Yep, you're really seeing it. But I haven't had, and I look for it every morning when I first wake up, because that seems when it's strongest. And I haven't seen anything recently. That's not to say that I won't get more. But one of the things that I can make out is when I see actual images when this is going on. And I did see a whole bunch of grays in the dark with their eyes gleaming, looking behind this web, which is what my painting is I'm doing right now. And I've stylized it somewhat because James has had an influence on me, and I wanted to make it really interesting and expression. It has a lot of expression to it, but it does, and I hope to finish it the next week. It does show kind of what I've been seeing. Now, mind you, I'm not dreaming. I'm not asleep. I'm wide awake. This is after I wake up in the morning and I close my eyes, and it's just like I have vision with my eyes closed. It's amazing. I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but you really have to almost, you have to shake yourself like, wow, this is really happening. I mean,
yeah, Steve, there's a question for James there. Did you ever see an underwater UFO?
No, I've never seen an underwater UFO. I've just seen them in the evening when I'm surfing. I like to surf in the dark. Well, a few people in my community does it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen one go into the ocean?
No, just really close coming down the channel one time. I thought it was like a drone, but the sun already went down, and I filmed it. I got 53 seconds of this light standing above after it came down the Santa Barbara Channel, and then it darted off. And then I've had multiple times where I'm out surfing or it's sunset, and I see something and it seems to react to my consciousness in the way that,
wow,
always the darndest thing kind of, where like each one's like its own little story. So, I like looking in a certain direction, just happen to see it, or I'll drop my cell phone and think I missed it disappearing, and it disappears right before I drop my cell phone. And it's happened enough times now to kind of, I'm sort of aware of it, but nothing in the water. I really want to, though. I'd like to see something. I heard that Lou was talking about some of those USOs being as big as, or bigger than oil derricks. That got me really excited because I live in Barbara and we have so many oil derricks here in front of us.
Dennis, did you see a lot of squiggly lines, straight lines, and dots above and below those lines and those shapes? Dennis, by the way, was he was a guest on our show. He was a great guest. Really amazing things he talked about. I'm just looking at, and I think Mary is too. We're all looking at comments because we're interacting with you. So, I just got back from my yearly well check from the doctor today, and they tell me I'm going to live longer, which is always a good thing. Not bad for a Friday the 13th, huh?
Really? I didn't think about that.
You're doing great. Just keep up your healthy lifestyle.
What a day to go.
Fine. It's like, okay, thank you.
What a day to go to the doctor.
I didn't even think about it.
I didn't either.
Whatever you're doing, keep it up. Yeah.
Oh.
You would love to see crop circles. I've always wanted to be able to go and see them too. And I've known plenty of people have gone there and gone inside of them, and they reported being disoriented and even a little bit oozy and sicky as a result of them after they got out of there. From what I understand about crop circles is it's not Doug and Dave. I don't think Doug and Dave are alive anymore. But what's going on is that in an instant, these things are made, and it's almost like some kind of laser printer that's in the sky looking down, and it literally has it's pre-programmed with the art in it, and it using microwaves. It sends a beam down and just gets the wheat to bend down exactly in the pattern they want, and they can detect the microwave radiation. From what I understand, they know that the stalks aren't bent; they're actually laying down. They have bent. They've leaned over. They're not broken. And if you look at the complexity and the exact shape, the geometry of some of these really complex crop circles, I don't know how people can think that human beings did that on the ground by stomping on wheat.
We have a question about radiation also, and I've heard that they are radioactive, and it's really funny when we got our night vision camera. Earl Gray Anderson told me that his next purchase is going to be a radiation detector to test for that.
Gas meters are good too. Donna, most of the ones I've seen, I mean, I wouldn't know where to begin. You're gonna do something really complex. If you're gonna use rollers, you're gonna have to use some sort of geometry to figure it out and make sure it gets seen that way from the sky. And you better be fast, because you're on private property and you're on farmland and you're in their fields and you are trampling down their wheat, and the chances of you being caught are pretty high, especially if they're done at night. You're going to need light to see. You need to know what you're doing. It's almost really hard for me to believe that other than maybe a circle being made, that we could do much more. Maybe we could do 2 or 3 circles and maybe connect between them. But most of these crop circles, they're there. The wheat, the field is fine one moment, the next minute there's a crop circle. It just happens so fast. And then of course there's that video that was shot years ago showing little balls of light going down into the wheat and just watching the wheat just lay down. And I think the skeptics are all saying that it was done with computer CGI, which I do for a living, let's not forget. And I don't remember us having quite that capability back then. So whatever got on film, and it was on video, wasn't very good quality, but you could see it. I remember that. I wish I could find that again, but it was impressive. And the balls of light make sense because Colin Andrews, who done so much studying of the crop circles, actually got on video these little balls of light in the wheat at the time it was happening, before the black helicopter chased them off. I don't know if any of you saw that footage, but it was real, and he's a real guy. And so these little balls of light have been captured before.
Mm-hmm. And Julie says the stalks have an anomaly at the point that they're bent that a person just can't do.
No, if there's a crop circle is made and they allow people that know what they're doing to go in there and look at the wheat, they will see that right away, that they'll say, oh, this is bent, broken, the stalks. So it was man-made.
And me, Mike, it's always a cover-up.
He said, what?
He says, I smell a cover-up. I'm saying there's always a cover-up.
Are there any crop circles?
As to what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Resonate, the plants are harmed in man-made crop circles. Yeah, that's true. I don't know what happens with the crop circles afterwards. Does the wheat grow back up and fill in, or do they just immediately go out there and harvest it? So we never get a chance to find that out. That I don't know about.
I think they harvest because it's that time of year is usually in harvest season in October.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Resonate said one of the I didn't hear about that one.
Well, the only thing that I ever saw that resembled that was when I lived in Newfields, New Hampshire, and in back of the school, there was an indentation where they said a craft had landed, and you could still see the burn mark. And that's the closest thing that I've ever come to seeing anything like that.
Yeah, and often years afterwards, nothing will grow there. I mean, years and years later, that circle will still be there. Everything else will grow up to it, but nothing will grow well within that area.
Travis.
What's Sunny
Yeah,
like?
that's funny that they brought that up. I was thinking the same thing. There was an area where things did grow, and then things didn't grow in that dock.
Nope.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know that about the Travis Walton case. So in that very area, James, where Travis was taken, trees aren't growing well?
There was a certain spot in the documentary where they said that they saw it, and they were doing testing and saying the trees grew differently over here than they did there, and that there were definitely signs of something happening, but they don't know what it was other than Travis's eyewitness.
That I haven't heard, Don. I haven't heard about the stalks being woven. So
yeah, some of the stalks are woven. And that's one of the telltale signs that it's a real crop circle, and one of the reasons it's so hard to fake it. The one. Not all of them are real, and not all of them are fake. But on that note, I've got to get going to go pick up my son.
Okay.
I have to sign up.
James, are you coming to our meet and greet Sunday?
Is this Sunday?
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Oh, good. Cool. Very cool.
And for you folks listening, we do have room for a few more people. We can only at our house have 10 people, but basically it's a meet and greet, but it's all people who have experiences. So it's kind of like our own little Zero support group meeting that we have once a month. And I don't know if you know about that, Joy, but you're certainly welcome since you're in the area. And we start
it's
12,
from 12,
right?
It's from 12 to 4, but it never ends at 4. It always lasts longer.
Yeah.
And it's potluck, and you just, drop us a line and we'll tell you where we live.
Yeah, it's free. We don't charge for you to be there. If you want to bring something to eat, you can. You don't have to.
And what's said there stays there.
Yeah, nothing leaves there. So you're safe to talk about your experience and talk with other people.
Thank you.
Actually, we don't have it, Joy. We don't have it on Zoom. This is a in-person only at our house in
Yvonne is having
Ventura. It's an hour outside of LA.
Yeah, Yvonne is having a Zero meeting on Zoom that same day at 12.
Oh, is she?
Yes, and that's for people that are out of country and out of state.
I see. Okay, so it's when worlds collide.
Well, not really. I mean, ours is in person and hers.
I wish
is
it wasn't
Zoom.
on the same day as Yvonne. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see some of these folks from the forum if their experiences show up. And I appreciate your time, Steve and Mary. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh,
well,
I'm
absolutely,
so happy you
James.
came.
We'll see you Sunday
For sure.
And if you can, bring some art. You don't have to. If you feel like it, it'd be great. We like to share things like that. And any video or anything like that. We've got a nice home theater system, so we can look at some.
Someone's bringing some pictures from Roswell too.
Oh, Danny's Danny's going to bring pictures from Roswell. Okay. Digging up somebody's floorboards looking for pieces of the Roswell craft. That should be fun.
Really?
a shirt from Roswell Museum for me that I Venmoed him on his trip out there. I said, "You got to get me something from the Roswell Museum," so I got a t-shirt from me. I'm excited about.
Yeah, and you have to pick up your poster.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, team member.
That one right behind me there.
I'll see you guys on
I
Sunday.
can't see it. Show it to us.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's see the poster before I go.
Show him the poster. I can't see it.
Oh, do I have it in the pictures here?
No,
Let's see.
either that or
No, I
pick it
have
up.
like a picture of it. No, I don't. It's not
Well,
there. It was there.
Pick
It's
it up
okay.
from in back of you.
Oh, I'll pick it up. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. It's right there.
I did the art, and it's kind of hard to see all of it well here.
Oh, I'm super excited.
I mean, there's a lot of detail in here you don't see. If it's a meadow, the way Billy Meyer had it, a meadow and a building here, and the sun has just gone down, and God rays are coming up between it. And that's the triangle that I saw over our house where people are coming this Sunday.
Right. And we have these on sale on our website.
Yeah. Steve, are you going to sign one for me?
Absolutely. I'll make him.
Yeah.
That would be great. We get a paw print from Nova on there. It'd be great. It'd be a paw.
I've got to figure out how to do that one.
All right. Well, I gotta go. But thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, Hot Rod.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, James. Love you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
We'll see you Sunday.
Okay.
I've been having to.
Donna, you don't have a car.
Learn how to type in the side and talk at the same time. I don't know. I'm not used to being on camera.
No, I know you're not. Oh, Anne's talking because Anne got her poster. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do more of my art, not always with slogans and things, but I'm going to make more of my art available. And I'm currently working on a book that we're going to publish ourselves and not through Amazon. We're having it done through a printer. So it'll be a nice book about 11. It's a 11 by 8.5 is the size. So it's, that. And it's going to have a lot of my artwork in it, both the painting, the sketches, and some of the CG art that I've done as well, and the sculpture, with little comments about why I did that particular piece and what was behind it. So hopefully within the next month or so, I'll have that done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
I have a question down here from me, Mike. Does Mary want to talk about when she reads those stories? What would you like? I'll tell you about reading those stories, actually. When I read those stories, I actually feel. I'm an empath, so I'm actually feeling what y'all are going through telling me these stories. And sometimes it's quite distressing. So I'm just not reading them to read them. I'm actually feeling them the whole time I'm reading them. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, I like your podcast better than the shows that I do.
Oh, no.
I do. And they're so nice to listen to. And I love hearing the stories. And I like hearing, when I got Communion Letters years ago and then recently I reread it, it's just, it's really something to read and know that all these people that sent in these stories didn't want their names used. They didn't want to be known publicly, which gives a hell of a lot of credibility to what they're sharing, because they have, again, nothing to gain from it. And what really got me is when Whitley showed us that picture from Rice University, and the curator there had all the artwork that they sent in with those letters strewn out across the table. And I was looking at it and go, oh my God, I'd love to see that stuff. And Whitley said there's problems with copyright issues and not being able to publish them. And that's a real shame, which is why I encourage you people.
I have to answer Donna on this one.
Okay.
I don't mind reading them at all. I love hearing your stories. And, I don't carry it around with me, but the time that I'm actually reading the story, I feel like I'm you. And it's fascinating to me, but because I meditate and I'm a Reiki practitioner, I am able not to carry it around with me. So please don't worry that way about it. Thank you, Donna, for worrying.
And plus, she's around me all the time, and I'm always bombarding her with my feelings about it and the messages I've been getting lately, which have been quite profound. I'm going to be doing a article about that, hopefully this weekend, certainly by next week, that I'm going to put on Substack and on the forum. So
yeah, me, Mike, I have no idea how they make us forget. It just I'm I'm worse at it than Steve because I just it's like they talk in my head and and make it feel like it's my thought, like just go to bed after like the evening that Steve wasn't found anywhere in the house and the thought in my head was just go to bed, he'll be there in the morning. And I went to bed. I mean, I don't know how they do this. I just have no idea.
thank you, Donna. And then, of course, I got to experience the same thing a few nights later where I got up and Mary wasn't in bed. And I looked all through the house in the back and outside. And it was spooky because you have this thought, what if she doesn't return? What do I tell the authorities? I
Yeah,
can't
that
tell them the
scares me
truth.
too.
Not,
He disappears more than I do.
yeah, but I mean, you're wide awake, so you're not given the out that, oh, it was just a dream. You're wide awake. You got to go to the bathroom, and someone you love that's right next to you isn't there and not anywhere in the house, and it's 3 a.m. It was spooky, and I think that we were both shown that for a reason. And the thing that was really interesting about it too is that I had to go, so I finally went, and then when I walked back in the bedroom, there she was, and she clearly wasn't there before. And it was startling because you find yourself thinking, well, maybe I just didn't see her. I mean, how ridiculous. I roll over, I look, you're not there. I pat the bed, they're not in the covers. Well, maybe I just didn't see her. Maybe I was wrong. I mean, these things just don't happen. There's got to be a reasonable explanation for it. Well, that's how we're brought up, and that's how we're taught to think. So
yeah, Donna says, oh gosh, first suspect, because who's going to believe you? And that's what we were thinking. I mean, we would be the first suspect, he's gone. What did you do with him?
And likewise, if you're carrying a child, God forbid, and it disappears, which has happened, or if some other medical issue happens with you, like there's a hole drilled into your skull and into your brain that I had, you can't go to a doctor about it and tell them what really happened. You just can't do it. So it's that part of this whole experience is very distressing.
All the marks and the spoons and all
you're
that stuff
you're
that
forced
happens.
to lie. Oh, I just hit my head. Oh, I was wrong. I wasn't carrying a child. I mean, I just it's and you've read the cases where that's happened. So thankfully it doesn't happen too often. Like The Fourth Kind, yeah, I remember that movie. So, but anyway, that I really feel, Mary, that the reason we both experienced that it was very deliberate.
Yep.
And then last night, Mary was asleep on the couch. I had gone outside just to look at the sky for a minute. I come back in and I see what I think is Nova. It was a dark shape, low to the ground, going down the hallway towards the bedroom. And I think to myself for a second, wait a minute. So I go over, Mary's still asleep. I go over and I look on the other side of the chair, and there's Nova on the little bed I made her sound asleep. So what was that just went down my hallway?
That's a constant at our house.
Yeah, and then so you just say, "Well, I guess I'll just go to bed." What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do if you worried about every time you saw something move or a shadow or whatever, you wouldn't never have a life. I mean, we do try to have a life aside from this.
Yeah, we certainly do. That's why I'm going flying tomorrow. Rachel, oh well, thank you. You're joining as a CE member. Um, just figuring it out. So does that mean we'll get to see you on this show?
CE2s and CE3s come on camera.
Okay. I saw
No, we really appreciate
Vegas
all the support.
through literally just a window shopping. They looked European.
Oh.
Oh yeah, me, Mike. We know that they're just walking among us, and Mary and I have seen that too. You got to figure how old and how vast the universe is, and how long there's been for different races to develop amazing technology and beings that are non-physical that come from other dimensions and everything else to come here. This has got to be a fascinating place, and so the possibility that there's only one or two types of beings, visitors, whatever you want to call them here, is really the odds are against it. We're probably literally inundated down here, and they can walk among us, and people just don't notice. I mean, you can put a mask on and walk down a boulevard, and hardly anybody even look at you. So I think it's quite easy for them, and especially if they're able to project a different image than what they really appear as. But I think a lot of them look so close to human that they can pass, and even some don't, because if you remember the Ed Conroy story with Whitley Strieber, and seeing the little grays dressed as little ladies looking through his communion books inside that bookstore and giggling about how Whitley got things wrong. And then there's the other one where they saw one of the communion lady grays just walking down the street among everyone, and no one really noticed it, probably because they couldn't see it, but he could, because that happens too. I'll never forget my friend Sean and his girlfriend Sylvia, and she sat in the car while Sean came in. I gave him his paycheck because he's working with me on a movie. He was a good artist, and she came in all freaked out because while she was sitting in the car, she saw this very large, dark craft appear over the house while we were inside. She was sitting in the car, and she didn't really accept what was happening to us up to that point. Sean was a serial member, and she came in, and she was white as a ghost and told us what she saw. And she said, I never really did believe you guys until now. So
yeah, and on that, I want to say a few things. I want to thank everybody that has sent in their secret story. It is an honor to share your story. And just please, I might not get to it right away. Luckily, I've got 2 or 3 lined up, which is a great thing, but please don't hesitate to send in your story. Thank you for your memberships, your Patreon memberships, your subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell so you know when we have our next show coming up. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you.
me too. And if you want to, no one's pushing you, but if you want to come forward on camera and have your story with you on camera describing and sharing with us what's happened to you, we will professionally produce a segment, a episode with you, and I will be doing the computer artwork visualizations for it. So we recently, not many people are coming forward to do this. We had Dr. Gale last time, but it's been difficult, and I understand, to get people to come forward. But if you want to, we're here for you to do that, and we'll produce a good show without any skepticism, without any no one's judgmental here. We just let you tell your story to camera, no interviewer, and we'll do a good job of presenting that to the public, because that's really where disclosure is going to come about. It's from each and every one of us. Eventually, they have to listen to us because we won't give up.
Nope, we're not giving up.
And more of us are starting to get that proof that means so much to them, with our cameras and our videos and evidence and physical evidence that we're collecting. So, and that's a great reason to be on our forum too, because we're trying to make a database there of all these things. They can be in one spot where they don't get lost in a sea of posts on Facebook or other such social media places. So,
okay, Misfire, we have a community chat once a month. Every Friday, we have a guest on the first Saturday of every month. We tell an experiencer story and visuals. And every third Saturday, Steve tells one of his stories with graphics and images and everything.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see me on camera. Sometimes it's all visual. And I'm doing more artwork now too, not just computer work, to include that, because I love doing just the art, drawing, sketches, paintings. I think they're important. So
with that, we will say good night.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for being here and supporting us and sharing with us your stories. It takes a lot of love to do that, and we feel it from you. And we send it right back to you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.